We're on the air. Easter special. It's also 420 if you celebrate. We've been accused of being potheads by one of the people in the comments.
Yeah,
accusations.
I take offense to that because there's only one of us that is that, and it's me. And then we have
totally
Brian the alcoholic, and then Mike the goody two shoes. That is the dynamic of the show.
You have me who doesn't smoke weed anymore, but looks very stoned all the time.
You are a retired professional, Brian.
I am a retired professional. Sometimes I'll dabble back in. I'll make a reunion tour real quick. I'll get the band back together.
Yeah, for like a special occasion, like a funeral or something. You'll rip one. Yeah, no, we know.
Or if I'm with
I've taken a puff
friends from high school or college, and we haven't seen each other for a while, and somebody has a little doobage, then I'll partake. But for the most part, I'm good. I'm good. I had fun with my girl Mary Jane, and then I switched to dudes.
Marty John.
But I also, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs, and we're still on good terms. But we're not in a relationship anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but Phil, you had a good point. Maybe we should put up a disclaimer, even though we say it in the info on all our social media and our website. We're total idiots who know nothing of sports, and we're just here to have fun and be stupid. We'll try to throw some expertise in.
We don't have to.
We're the nosebleeders. We sit in the nosebleeds.
We won't get too into this right now. We'll get right into what we planned on talking about today. But we don't have to explain ourselves to anybody.
That's true, okay? Brian.
You're watching us for free. If you're watching us for free, the only thing you're paying for is your time. So if you're really that upset because we didn't know about Doug Collins in like the Michael Jordan Bulls game, you can go fuck yourself. You can go fuck yourself, you loser piece of shit.
All right.
Okay?
But keep watching.
Brian has a good point.
But also go fuck yourself.
Right,
Brian's got a good point. If your whole purpose is to try to appease the monsters in a YouTube comment section, that's a losing battle, my friend. You might as well just lean into the fact that we're all
just
down.
Hilarious. It's just hilarious. This is all for fun. But
no screwing around.
Today's Easter.
Yes, it is.
Today we're gonna get to some baseball. A lot of baseball, NBA action going on as well. The playoffs started. So. What do you want to talk about first?
Let's start with that. Mike, you were texting me almost nonstop yesterday.
I was so excited.
Pumped. You were crazy pumped. You were giving me like almost by the minute updates, like Knicks are up by 2 at halftime. Oh my God, it's the fourth quarter. They're winning. Like you were, I was just picturing you sitting there in your couch, on your couch in the fetal position, like shaking, watching the game, like hoping they were going to win.
Surprisingly, actually, I was doing work all day yesterday. So I slept in because I work like a nut all week. So I got to sleep in yesterday. Did my laundry. Was doing my work while I was waiting for my laundry to finish. Did a little food shopping.
Cooked some DiGiorno pizza, rub one out. No, we understand, but let's talk about the Knicks.
I worked the rest of the day, but I was watching the Knicks behind me. And like, it's Knicks playoffs. So I gotta, I couldn't not watch it. And at one point they were up. It was a close game. It was like a 2-point game. And then they looked like they were blowing it in the third quarter. They just like, oh, here we go. In the fourth quarter, they went on a 21-0 run. The Pistons could not hit. They couldn't touch the floor with their own sneakers. That's how bad they were. And the Knicks could not miss. Campaign wouldn't miss. And everything they were criticizing the Knicks about, they leveled up, which was good. They played defense. Cat played defense. And their bench came through. So I was totally impressed, and it was one of the best playoff games I've ever seen.
It's great to see you all excited, and it's going to really suck next week when we do the show and they're down like 3-1 in the series because they've completely collapsed. Well,
Jalen rolled his ankle yesterday, so that might be an issue now.
There you go. See, they will find a way to pull a Knicks one way or the other. That is definitely how it goes.
Yeah.
It's exciting, man.
At one point, it was a funny moment where, I'm not trying to read into this too much, but Campaign hit a 3, Garden's going nuts, camera pans, and Patrick Ewing sitting there just texting on his phone. He's like, yeah, kid, I'm a superstar. But no, it was great. I just hope they can keep playing that way.
You and me both.
They'll if they play the way they played yesterday against the Celtics or the Cavs, however far they get, they have a fighting chance. So.
No, it's great. And I hope they at least make it out of the first round because we need some excitement because we're going to talk baseball in a minute, but at the end of the day, it is April. And with the Rangers being a disappointment this year, we need a little excitement in the Garden. We need a little excitement here in New York City. You know what I mean? So this is exciting. They
fired Peter Laviolette. We found out this week that the bread man settled on a sexual assault case. So fuck that dude. So, Rangers world is disastrous right now. Sam Rosen retired. They're getting County Albert to take over, which is good. But Sam Rosen was like the voice of the Garden, so he's retiring. So, yeah, not a good year for the Rangers.
Yeah, but we'll brush that aside. Let's go back to the Knicks. I want to express an opinion. And this is not completely related to the game itself. This I might sound like a raging dickhead in saying this, but I think I'm coming from a good place. Sure. And it's that, Mike, you and I all year talked about trying to get to a Knicks game. We did. And what's the number one thing, though, that prevented us from doing it?
It's expensive.
It's expensive as hell to get into the Garden. It is. And so I hope that when they build the new Garden, they find a way to cram a few thousand extra seats in there just to get the supply up a little bit. Because I'll tell you what's been happening. And full disclosure, for those of you who don't know me personally, I work at a hotel during the day. And the number of people with a thick European accent of various types, whether it is a British or a German or a French, etc. accent, who asked me how to get to the Garden yesterday because they had tickets to the game. The first time it was cute the first time, but then like the next 5 or 6, I was kind of getting a little mad because I'm like, wait a minute, is anyone from New York actually going to this game, or is it literally all just billionaires and tourists?
No, I'll answer that. I mean, well, okay, the Knicks, it's probably, billionaires, tourists, and like, I'd say maybe like a quarter or maybe a little less of like diehard Knicks fans.
That's what I mean.
I can say for a fact, like Nets games are like half of it is like Europeans, half of it is like Europeans that like, they're like, hey, we're visiting the city and we want something to do. And
the Knicks were out of town, so we came here.
Yeah. When I had tickets to the Nets, I met people from like Germany, I met people from France, I met people from Switzerland, and they're always like, why are you so mad? And I'm like, because Kyrie ruined my fucking team. That's why I'm so mad. You visit this. I grew up a New Jersey Nets fan. So like that's why I'm mad, because I've lived in this pain for a while.
Well, we interviewed
I've never seen a championship.
We interviewed French people one part outside the Brooklyn.
We did.
Yeah, so
we meant to get down there again this year, but it was such a damn cold winter, and none of our schedules aligned this year at all. Because we wouldn't get into our personal lives, but Brian, I like that. I like that you're kind of concurring with me in terms of just the frustration of the fact that you see no one who lives within, the state lines even coming in for the game. It's all just tourists, man.
I mean, that's just kind of unfortunately New York City, but that's a whole different conversation. But that is New York City right now. It's like it's becoming a place for rich transplants, and like the people that like grew up, people that like are middle class and born and raised in the city, they're kind of getting pushed out. Womp womp. Let me be the downer of the podcast.
Yeah, we can't even get. The best we can do is sit for the upper deck at the Yankees or a Mets game. Let's get to baseball.
Yeah. I did go to a Pistons and Knicks game with my brother, though. I will say, like, I mean, as much as we've talked shit about like the owner, which all Knicks fans talk shit about the owner. Anyone that knows anything about sports or has an ethical backbone would talk shit about the owner. But I will say the Garden's awesome. Like we got the tickets where we were kind of like in the round. Like they were like the nosebleeds of the nosebleeds, and like it was kind of like a every man for yourself kind of situation. But like I bought these tickets on SeatGeek, and I think they were like a little over $100 a piece.
Wow.
Which is expensive as fuck. Yeah. But I decided to spring for it, me and my brother. And we basically were we were treated to like a whole buffet.
You sat in like the there's a name.
It wasn't exactly a suite. It wasn't. That's the thing. I don't know what it was called. It wasn't a suite, but it was like also a plate.
Tickets, yeah.
The Pepsi.
It was like almost like I want to call it the round or something like that, because that's how it felt. But like, and it was like and every man for yourself. I don't know how I got these tickets, but like, yeah, we were treated to like free food and whatnot,
Oh, wow.
which I've luckily been in those situations before. But like the fact that like I was able to purchase that off SeatGeek was pretty cool.
Wow.
I like the Garden. I like the Garden a lot. I like watching
Who
basketball
doesn't?
games at the Garden. I'm not going to say there's not a bad seat in the house. There are very bad seats.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of bad seats, and I've sat in a few of them. That's the only ones I can ever afford.
I've sat in a few of them too. But I really it sucks. Like I said, I'm wearing a New Jersey Nets throwback shirt right now, but I feel really homeless when it comes to basketball, and I feel like I am becoming a bandwagon Knicks fan because I really like the squad and I want happiness. I want happiness.
I don't know.
Don't blame you.
You had a whole lifetime of being a Jets fan, so you deserve more something. This is what
and a Mets fan too. I mean, the Mets are giving me plenty of happiness right now, and I think they will get. Being like a Devils fan too, like the Devils are in the playoffs, and I'm going to watch them. Being like a Devils and Mets fan now, like even if they do disappoint you, they give you like a fighting chance every season. Whereas the Jets are just complete fucking dog shit for decades and decades and decades.
I'm so happy that it's not football season because Mike, how miserable were we last fall every week coming on here? And Brian, I know you had other stuff to do for some of the weeks, but every week it was just like, oh, the Giants and the Jets lost again.
It was worse.
That was it. That was the whole show for the 3 months. That's all it was. But
I think the Jets actually have a fighting chance next season with Aaron Glenn as their coach, and they got Justin Fields as their quarterback. We'll see how that pans out.
We'll talk about that towards the end of the summer. But I agree. But anyway, let's hop over to baseball. We're talking about the Mets. Brian says that they're giving him some hope and some joy right now, which is I don't mean to rain on Mets fans' parade, but I will say this. They haven't played a single team that's going to be playing in the playoffs this year yet. They've beaten all the bad teams they played, which you're supposed to. Okay. Right. And you can only beat the teams that are on your schedule that are in front of you. But there's not a single team where I watch them beat and I'm like, oh, yeah, they beat the Marlins
that's
a bunch
true.
of times.
I mean, like, it was cool that we swept the Cardinals. It was cool. But like also when we swept the Athletics, I was like, nice. And then I was like, oh, but they're the worst team in the league.
They're a homeless team. They're literally, them and the Rays are literally homeless teams right now. You beat a homeless team. How does that make you feel, Brian?
They're homeless.
You beat them
Steve Cohen, a team owned by a hedge fund manager, just beat up homeless people. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly
a real David and Goliath situation. It is crazy that the Mets, who used to be like a working class, like, underdog team, are probably going to be like, kind of like a Yankees in the sense that we're going to have an owner that's just going to like shell out money like whenever they can. Then again, you also have the Dodgers that are probably going to become the Yankees too.
They already are, man.
The Yankees of the 90s.
They're the new evil empire.
They have a higher payroll than everybody. But like, as far as the Mets go, I think you're right. And it's unfortunate, but I think there's going to be an element of what we just talked about with basketball with the Mets happening. Because the Mets, whether they're great this year, they're going to be great in next year, 2 years, 3 years out, because they are building a pretty good team. And also they're adding attractions outside the stadium, which means that they're going to be making even more money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we also have I just looked at the National League East, and the Braves are in last place, which is hilarious to me. That's like bizarre how the mighty have fallen.
For now. My prediction is they turn it around. Speaking of sweeps, they swept the Twins this weekend, which again, but they started I think 0-7 because they played against the Dodgers and the Padres, who are two otherworldly teams right now. There are 4 teams in the NL West right now that are well above 500, and also the Rockies exist. But for some reason. It's the Braves, I think, are better than people think, and I do think that they're going to go on a run. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they put down 6 or 7 games in a row right now and got back to 500. They're a really good team. I still think they have a shot to win that division. It's April. People. Everyone goes through slumps. But the real test for the Mets comes starting tomorrow. Or it might be starting today, depending on when Mike puts this out. But the Phillies are in town. So this is going to be the first test to see whether the Mets can actually play with teams that are going to finish above 500 this year. And it's going to be cool. It's going to be great to see.
I think the answer is going to be, I hope they don't disappoint me, but I think the answer is going to be yes. I mean, I think to me, my opinion, and my opinion isn't worth shit because I don't know anything, but I would say it's kind of, if it weren't for the Dodgers, the Mets are probably going to take it all. Well, I mean, not win the World Series, but like going to the World Series, because I think that the Cubs are doing pretty good right now. The Cubs could definitely like upset us, but like I don't know. I think the Dodgers. To me, it's the Dodgers are. If I was talking about like scheduling like stand-up shows in October, and I was like, I can't schedule shows in October. Or until like the end of October because the Mets might go to the World Series. But like that's also being a little delusional. Whereas I
respect that. I do.
If I was an LA Dodgers fan, I'd be like, absolutely not. I can't do anything in October because they're probably going to go I'd be way more confident if I was a Dodgers fan, being like, yeah, they're definitely going to go to the World Series. I mean, people were talking about. And this is so insane to me. People were talking about them being the first team to win like 162 games like in a row, which I just don't know how that would be.
That's not how baseball works, children.
No.
That's not how baseball works.
But no, like committed sports writers I saw like were published saying like, is this a possibility? Like I was just like, what fucking plan are you?
They need clicks.
First of all, I think that their ceiling is around 115 or so, and you got to understand their division is brutal. I just mentioned it. The Giants look better than they were supposed to be, the San Francisco baseball Giants. And the Padres are also playing on their level. And everyone forgets about Arizona. Arizona handled the Dodgers 18 months ago in the playoffs in their own house. And so, like, and Brian, I don't mean to rain on your parade or anything, but like the Mets, I think they're more of like a 5 or a 6 seed in the NL. I don't think they're better than any of the teams from the West except the Giants and Rockies. And if it depends on the injury situation with the Braves. If the Braves come back healthy this year, they're a handful, and then you always have the Phillies. I think the Mets probably in, but I think it's a 5 or a 6 seed, man. I do.
I also just love sports fans. So like Alonso, I mean, maybe it changed a little bit, but as of now, I believe Alonso is doing much better than Soto. Alonso is having a fucking great start. I just watched like one of the fucking WFAN motherfuckers, like just some Italian guy named like Joey Salami with like a vein like popping in his temple.
It's probably Sal.
Why do we spend all this money on Soto?
I think it was Sal.
Sounds like Sal.
That sounds like Sal. Sal is great because the thing is,
he's out of his mind.
Well, no, he's out of his mind. But the thing is, he's a talented radio host because, first of all, he doesn't believe half the stuff that comes out of his own mouth. I'm convinced that. But he's good at his job because what he does is he essentially puts out rage bait. He puts out he passes that line to get angry callers to call in and disagree with him and do hate comments online. He's not as dumb as you think. If
every New York sports team was amazing constantly, like these motherfuckers would be out of a job. Like they're paid to be angry.
Right. That's the whole point.
Their whole entire life is
angry.
Yes.
It's
Yeah. And I respect it because like that's what a lot of good comedians are paid to also just like complain and talk shit too.
Right.
So I respect it. But I was laughing. I was like, dude, like we just started the season and like you look like you're about to have an aneurysm over Juan Soto.
He's got to get people to call in. He's got to get people to call in and disagree with him. And that's, again, I don't think he's the smartest dude on the station, but I do think he's one of the most engaging because there's been times where I'm sitting there watching his clips and I'm like, I'm not like a guy who calls into radio stations, but I kind of want to call in and bitch at this guy right now. I want him to shut up. And that's smart. That's very smart. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Alonso's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if Alonso ends up having a better season than Soto.
Disagree.
I don't know.
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say with Soto. It just feels like he's around
April.
He's going to turn a corner very soon.
Today is 4/20. It is April 20th. Let me say this. First of all, as a Yankee fan, I hope Soto has a monster year because, and I mentioned this last week, Mike, I have him on my fantasy team. I really need Soto to come in big. I earned a first-round pick on him. Anyway, Soto right now is going through an adjustment period, and he even mentioned, this is a big media hoopla last week, he doesn't have the protection of Judge anymore. And that's no shade at Alonso. Alonso is one of the best power hitters currently playing. But if you did the stat breakdown, I still read some article, I forgot which website it was on. Basically, he's getting a lot more pitches that are low to the ground that are out of the zone because pitchers would rather just walk him and pitch to Alonso than last year when I can't walk this guy and then pitch to Judge. It's different.
The only thing I think Soto is home. He's home. He's going to just be comfy because he's got nowhere else to go. Whereas Alonso, he has a 2-year contract with, I think, an opt-out after this year. So, I feel like remember there was, a whole contract dispute. Is he going to stay with us? Are we giving him enough money? Is he going to be worth enough money? So I feel like he's got something to prove. Whereas Soto's bitch, I'm fucking here. I'm I'm rich,
bitch.
Good or bad, he's on the team. Yeah.
But I don't think Soto is going to end up having a better year than Alonso. I really don't. Soto's one of the best hitters.
You don't think Alonso?
You don't think he's going to have a better year than Alonso?
What did I say? Did I say it backwards?
You said it backwards.
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, no, I think Soto is by far the superior hitter. He's one of the best hitters I've ever seen. Remember, we watched him for a whole year last year. He's really good. Yeah. And it is April 20th. It is 420 today. I think in July, a conversation of Alonso having a better year than Soto is just going to sound silly. But hey, I could be wrong. Maybe it is a down year, but no, I don't think it is. I think Soto is going to adjust to the new world that he's in. He's going to learn how to take the walks and hit pitches that are in different parts of the zone than they were last year.
Maybe we'll see. But I guess I hate part of me hates having to pay attention to sports because it feels like such a chore. I want to pay attention to the Knicks playoffs game. I want to pay attention to the Devils and the playoffs. I may try to go this Friday to the Devils game, but I also want to pay attention to this Mets game. Right now, this is kind of the season where you're paying attention to baseball because it just started. But also you have the NHL playoffs, you have the NBA playoffs. May also is when all the shit starts to pop off too. So NFL it does feel like a chore. Sometimes I'm I don't fucking if you're all gonna let me down, I just never watch and then I
all right. Speaking of letdowns, let's get to the Yankees. Mike, Devin Williams, do you take him out of the closer role for at least temporarily?
No, it's got to be something
that's confident.
wrong with him because it's April. He's got to adapt to this team. Yeah, it hasn't been good. He in between the last 3 starts, the one in the middle, he was fine. So he has it in him to do good. He's coming off of paternity leave. He's coming off. They have an injury or something. Did he have food poisoning too? Everybody has food poisoning. He had to shave off his beard. I know that.
He needs to shave his beard off, okay?
Shave it off now?
The fact that he came in here and pitches to a 12 ERA and demands that the Yankees change a half-century-old policy is a bunch of crap. He needs to shave that beard and get over himself, all right?
Yeah, I don't know if he demanded.
I'm not taking that back. Yeah. He was apparently one of the main voices. No, that was publicized. He was one of the main guys bitching about it in the clubhouse, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It seems like Pete Alonso ruined him. I don't know. That's what everybody's saying. So
Pete Alonso broke him.
He's got a vote of confidence from Judge. I don't know if that means anything because somebody said that Judge probably said that about what's Holmes. His name? Yeah. So
Holmes, yeah.
The Yankees though, they had the Stroman game the other night. Stroman was a disaster. Was it Stroman or Will Warren? It was Will. Well, Stroman had the bad outing. Will Warren had a bad outing. So they've been going to their bullpen. Their bullpen's been keeping them in the game.
Yeah,
which is what you need. So, I don't know. I don't think you can start making any big moves to June.
There's
not much you can do right now.
Because the Yankees need to pick up a starter or two. They need to look at an arm. The offense has been okay because different guys are hitting on different nights. Like Trent Grisham is having a hot month, and so hopefully if he cools off,
a homer today.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully if he cools off, You can get, Bellinger or Jazz or one of these other guys to heat back up.
Yeah.
It's not just the Judge show like it has been the last couple of years except for last year of Soto. It's
everybody's
this year, it's balanced. It's a deep lineup. I'm enjoying it. So we'll see.
Yeah, you're seeing a little more hot and cold streaks. Like Volpe's started going to a little cold streak. He's been great on defense. Jazz hasn't been hitting, but he's got 6 home runs. Bellinger doesn't have a high batting average, but he's come through with some RBI doubles. And
he had a bomb today. He might be heating up.
Yeah, so it's going to be Paul Goldschmidt has been unreal. Like, kids.
I have him on my fantasy team too, baby. Let's fucking ride.
Yeah, Yankee fan or not, I mean, he just got here as a Yankee. This guy is unbelievable. We're getting the real Paul
not
Goldschmidt.
to in any way crap on Anthony Rizzo, but it just goes to show you what production from first base looks like and how much it can help your team. And look, Rizzo was hurt a lot, so I'm not gonna shit on him.
Yeah,
I think he had a great career, but the fact is we got nothing out of first base for like 2 or 3 years, and now you got Goldschmidt who's hitting like 400. It's kind of fun to watch, is it not? And his glove is insane.
He comes off as a super disciplined, quiet guy. He just goes out and plays. So,
old school bulldog, baby. All right.
I was gonna say quickly today. Did you see the whole thing about the Aaron Judge home run that they reviewed?
I was watching it. I was in the back room at work, watching on my phone. That was 10 feet fair.
My brother showed me on the because I was out for Easter. My brother showed me the replay on his phone, and it was obvious it was fair. How do they not you can watch the replay in the stadium and it take 2 seconds to go, oh, we screwed that call up, or they still couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, it's embarrassing and frustrating when the replay system, the thing it's designed to do is get calls right when it fails. Yeah. It's so frustrating. I know what you mean, man.
And put Judge aside. Let's say it was a guy in Tampa Bay. You can't get that obvious of a home run call. I saw years ago, Jim Leyritz when he was on the Yankees. He hit one. There was no replay system. He hit one, and it was a home run, but they called it foul, and then he got mad. They threw him out of the game. But you see the replay on TV and the ball just kind of disappears behind the pole. With the human eye, you can make that mistake because it happens so quick. That was close.
What year did they add the cage on the inside of the foul pole in the fair part of the pole? Because that's a recent thing, last 15, 20 years, right? Because before it was just a pole. And now they have the cage, so if you see it stop, then you know it's a fair ball.
That's a good. I never thought of that. Yeah, I don't know when they brought that in.
That's my type of autism notices shit like that.
Someone in the comments will tell us. So. We don't research. We just let the comments tell us what happened.
Yeah, no, we let that tell us how dumb we are. Speaking of that, hopefully we can get some good ones today from these videos we have. Let's get to the reaction part of the show. The Knicks were playing the Pistons, or are playing the Pistons in the round 1 series this week. Do you have the rap commercial one, Mike?
Is that the greatest Pistons commercial?
Yes. Play that.
All right, we're gonna play this now.
You want the sporting goods that the big boys use, but you're not a Rockefeller or a Howard Hughes. Well, at Dunham's you can find what you have in mind, and it won't put your budget into overtime.
For high-performance softball and baseball shoes, choose Puma. And for the best selection and lowest discount prices on Puma, choose Dunham's. Save $20 on top-quality Puma grass caps. Right now at Dunham's, just $24.99.
The names are the biggest, the prices are the best at DUNHAMS.
Dunham.
Seeing a young Laimber too.
I know.
Chuck Daly was totally into this commercial, which is
he was in
more than anybody.
This is fun. This is wholesome and fun. And you guys mentioned the price, $24.99. You can still get shoes like that if you go to the outlet shops, by the way, which
Pumas
I highly recommend
everyone does. I'm all into Pumas.
I wear Pumas right now.
Yeah, I wear Pumas. I want to get the Pumas in the commercial here in the upper right corner.
Yeah, that was before inflation and
$30, baby. Go outlet shopping, kids. All right.
Pumas. There's some fire Pumas in this ad right now. So
you also get to see a young Rodman too. Before he lost his mind and was doing coke off of Carmen Electra and dressing in bridal gowns too. He's the best. He really is the best. I got to meet Dennis Rodman actually. Meet is in quotes. I went to an autograph signing. And I thought we were going to take a picture with him because that's what we were promised in the ticket. And he got there and he was just like, nah. Nah.
Take a picture.
Nah.
My hair is at the right color.
But like true to form, he had green hair. He had like a huge like ring in his lip. And like he was just like, I gave him a basketball and picture. I was like, it's so great to meet you. And he was just like, I just want to go home. Like he
actually said that.
He said that to his wife,
oh.
or his girlfriend or whatever. He just was like, I just want to go home. He said that he like nodded and was just like, I just want to go home. Like you can tell like these like guys when you go to like the sports signings are like just and they get to a point where they're just so miserable and bored. They're like, please just let me go home. I don't know. I don't know if it's like an ego thing, like they feel like they're just doing this for cash and it hurts their ego that they don't have the same body that they used to have. But yeah.
Well, I think part of
he was not feeling it.
I think part of it also is you think about the types of people that go to these like autograph signing conventions. It's mostly just sad dudes. You know what I mean? Like it's
the saddest.
And that's the thing.
The
you can't.
Dudes.
These guys went from getting like tier 1 pussy to just like sitting in convention halls and signing photographs for like 60-year-old men.
Yeah.
You know, like that's part of these guys. I guarantee you that's part of the letdown.
They used to make it rain $24 Pumas on all their hoes. They used if they had a baby mama or if they had a girl, they would send her just a $24 Puma to get back. Now they gotta pay them off with like $12,000 if they got a scandal. Dennis Rodman was like, back in my day, if I wanted to give some hush money, I would just send them a $24.
It's in the Pumas. That's all it costs.
Call it a day. And just call it a day. And then keep these hoes quiet.
Mike, play it again with sound. Play it again with sound.
You want the sporting goods that the big boys use, but you're not a Rockefeller or a Howard Hughes. Well, at Dunham's you can find what you have in mind, and it won't put your budget into overtime.
For high-performance softball
listen to that synth,
shoes,
guys.
choose Puma. And for the best selection and lowest discount prices on Puma,
they could be a barbershop quartet. They really have like you think that these are like the bad boys, you know, that were like just playing dirty all the time. Like they really like seem like they have like a rhythm locked in.
Yeah.
They look like they had fun with that. You can feel, you can sense that they weren't taking themselves seriously, and they're like, "Look, guys, we just got to just stand in a gym, pretend to rap for like 2 hours, and they're just gonna be." You can tell they enjoyed that.
Isaiah Thomas too also looks like he could be a movie star too. Like he looked like he's got like this young Isaiah, like has like the smile down pat, and he was like, everyone else, like you know.
Right.
Like, okay, maybe you go in the back. Maybe you be the backup dancers for
Mike, what do you got next?
Yeah, all right. So we got another Pistons commercial featuring Bill Laimber.
Wait, no, this is not a commercial.
It's not a commercial.
I have to intro this. So, do you remember how a few months ago we found the Chris Collinsworth interview where he was talking about dating 14-year-olds, and we're like, this is the craziest, weirdest thing we ever saw. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Brian. No, I'll send it to you later, Brian. It was there was like a 60 minutes or like it was like
we're gonna watch it right now. Or
no, we already did it a few months ago. But what I found a similar like player focus piece where they're interviewing Bill Laimber off the court, and I'm not even joking. I don't know the name of the channel that uploaded this, but I want to credit them. The name of this clip is called "The Softer Side of Bill Laimber."
So, all right,
he's just gardening.
Here we go. He's just gardening.
Away from the game, Bill's soft demeanor couldn't be in sharper contrast with his maligned public image.
It seems like ever since the Pistons have really been competitive, all of a sudden he's been labeled as a dirty player. And I think they see a big guy who can't run and can't jump. And some guys feel threatened by it, I think. And, he's not an angel by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think anybody else in the league is either.
Okay.
Detractors place Laimber in the wake of controversy. But to help him cope and gain a clearer perspective, he seeks the calmer waters of his hobbies, including power boating and a passion for fishing.
This is quite a contrast to some of the opposing arenas.
I'm a white guy. I'm a white guy in the 80s.
I get out and fish.
Fish and power.
It's so peaceful. You spend all your life in front of 20,000 people hollering and screaming, scrutinizing every move you make. And I'll fish sometimes from 12 o'clock till 4 in the morning, during the playoffs because I'm not able to sleep after a game until about that time.
All right.
Not the biggest, but it's a fish.
It is a fish.
No other Piston captures Detroit's bad boy image like Bill Laimber, a man who has accepted misconception and learned how to ride out the tide.
This just feels like such a soft commercial, like trying to sell honestly, it feels like a commercial. It's like he's trying to sell polos or like LLB.
No, he's trying to get you to go to Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, or Bass Pro Shops, really. You know, I also like okay, so lady, like that's such bullshit. Like knowing everything, like watching all those sports documentaries that I've been watching about Bill Laimber, and we love Bill Laimber on the show.
We do.
He's a fucking character. He's in the Nosebleeders Hall of Fame. Yeah. We started the show because we enjoyed watching fights, and he was the one that provoked it all and always delivered. So we thank him for that. But like to say like Larry Bird is just jealous of my husband, or to say like Magic Johnson is just jealous of my husband, like bitch, did you bump your fucking head? Like Larry Bird is 10 times better than fucking Bill Laimber will ever be. Okay, like
it sounds
even
like
even Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman, like Dennis are better than your fucking husband. But to just be like, no, your husband was a piece of shit. Like he was, and he owned it, and he owned it, and he owned it. But like, to me, like
can't run and can't jump.
This part right
run
here,
and can't big guy who can't run and can't jump.
Like, is she just throwing him onto the bus there?
Well, yeah, she's just being like, they're just jealous because he's not as athletic as all of them. And it's like, what does that even
Thanks,
mean?
honey. Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, she just threw him under the bus. I didn't get that.
So that I just had to call bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I think the other guys are just jealous because, like, he can't dunk. He can't really, like, he gets winded when he runs, and they're jealous of that. And they're jealous of that because he's on an NBA team. Like you really are throwing shade at him, and you don't even mean to.
I like this next shot right here. Where I started to cut you off, Mike. Keep playing it. Where they show him from like a crazy low angle, casting a line.
He's so tall.
Hold on, hold on. I think it's coming up in a second, right? Yeah, they show him. Like looking like he's like John Tesh, like he's at peace with the world. This angle right here is crazy.
This way, underneath. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had to point that out. Sorry, Mike. What were you going to say?
No, I just like in the commercial that they're talking all about him, and they just pan to some guy on a jet ski who had nothing to do with the commercial.
This is not a commercial. This is like a news segment or something.
Yeah,
like a halftime thing.
You don't pan off the talent. Come on, that's camera work 101. Sorry, that's the nerdy part of my life.
You and I always nitpick the production of these late 80s. Like
that's my job. Yeah, it's like if I did that, I'd get fired. So,
And I love the part too where he says, sometimes after a game, I'll fish from 12 to 4 a.m. because I can't sleep
during the playoffs.
Picture this. Like, does that mean that after one of the fights that we watched, like where he's like, throwing a haymakers at Charles Barkley, he like went home and is like, all right, which tackle am I going to use tonight?
I know. He's kicking Kevin McHale in the nuts, and then he's like, I'm just thinking about the waters, man. I'm just thinking about my boat. As I'm sack tapping Larry Bird while he's not looking.
Hey, Larry, I do like the shirt, though. That's a good polo. I want to get a polo like that. It looks like it's almost got San Antonio Spurs colors because the Spurs have that little. They're silver and black. The Spurs.
Are you the one he's wearing when he's holding his kid?
Yeah.
The one.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a trans flag.
Well, that's now that I look at it, it's true too. But I'm thinking like the black with the blue. All right. Well, I'm progressive. It looks like is it for an Audi shirt? Is that Audi logo?
That would be funny as hell if like Bill Laimber was also like, I'm like a progressive guy. I'm forward thinking.
I'm not
meanwhile,
really
he's spitting in Magic Johnson's mouth and like calling him a bitch.
It'd also be funny if he's like, I'm not progressive, but I love the colors, color schemes.
Yeah. All right, the softer side of Bill Laimber. There you go. All right, Mike.
I enjoyed that. Yeah. We got one.
We got next.
2004 Oakland A's. The A's always have good commercials.
Oh hell yeah!
Which remind me, when I can rip commercials properly, I found a good Yankees one. Like, we talk about how good the A's and the Mariners commercials are. I found a good Yankee. So we'll do that next time. But here we go, Oakland A's.
There's a go to first. They've got him picked off. The throw to second base. And he's out.
Is it Matsui?
No, it's Mulder.
No, the guy running.
Maybe.
Oh. A nod to the gays, real quick.
Yeah.
A subtle nod to the gays. Wait, okay.
That was it. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Okay, so no, you're
just sexually. I'm just
okay. That's what I was getting at. Yeah, that was Matt. That might have been Matsui, or was it somebody else?
Matsui running the second.
It was the right era. This is the mid 2000s. Yeah, that's Mark Mulder, of course, one of the big three, as they called him. And when he bends over, the girls scream. And then Chavez, future Yankee, gets jealous and comes and takes away the rosin bag. And everyone goes, "Oh, that's a great ad." And by the way, like we've talked about this, Mike. The A's really did push some envelopes that other teams would not in their ads. Could you imagine the Yankees doing this with with Max Fried or somebody? Hell no. That would never happen.
I don't know if that would fly in New York.
No, definitely not.
In Oakland, it was a thing.
Well, it's right across the water from San Francisco, so they can get away with that there.
They can get away with raunchy ass shots.
What would you rate Mark Mulder on a scale? What do you think of Mark Mulder there?
In terms of would smash, would not pass. I would smash.
Okay.
Mark Mulder.
What about Eric Chavez?
Yeah, probably, but he's a thirsty hoe, man. He's a thirsty ass bitch. If he's just trying to take Mark Mulder's fucking thunder right like that, it's like that's not a good look. That's not a good look at all.
It's like a cock block.
Well, I'm glad that it gets Brian's approval because we did save this one especially. A dude bending over, you have to wait for your gay co-host to be.
You have to wait for my sample. It's just my face, like right by his ass. Like this is you got my seal of approval right now.
Like Marv Albert. That's that emphatic. All right, we got one last one. We
got one more.
One more.
Well, not one more Mark Mulder ass shot, but one more ad.
Right. Yeah.
I was about to say, okay, we're done. I tap out on the Mark Mulder ass shot. Yeah, you're not going to peak after that. Okay.
I had this commercial on ice because we needed another commercial for today. So I'm glad I had some left over. This is an old Atari commercial from the 80s, and it's got athletes playing video games. So let's take a look.
Okay. At Atari, our game cartridges undergo grueling tests. We put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up against Atari basketball.
Oh, man, what a move.
We let Mario Andretti test drive Atari Night Driver.
This game really cracks me up.
And the great Pele himself tested Pele's championship soccer.
What a gig, it beats me again.
At Atari, we take our games seriously, so you have more fun.
How'd you do, Kareem?
Glad I won't face Atari in the playoffs.
No other video game company stacks up to Atari.
Oh, wait, lots to unpack here, guys.
Just the height of Kareem is just so wild, man.
That is funny.
Compared to Pele and Mario Andretti, yeah.
Like, he's okay, so Andretti and then Pele, too, which is, yeah. I mean, you just have legends playing, arcade game. And they're just like, I wonder if they're like, yeah, we're good at this sport. Almost like guitarists when they played Guitar Hero. Like, there's we're actually like really good at the real thing. We don't need to do this at all.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, now that you mention it. Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're doing this for money. But like, they're like, why would Pele ever play virtual soccer when he could just go out and be the greatest ever?
He's really, look how Pele uses the controller.
Well, hold on, wait. I want to stop you there, Mike.
Yeah,
I got to stop you. Say what say what you're going to say, and then I'll correct you.
Just the way he's holding the controller is like, it looks like he's going to break it. Like, he's really intense.
All right. So for those of you who never played on an actual Atari console, and I did, there are two types of controllers for the Atari. There's the paddle, which you can see Kareem and the other guy using, or Kareem might have the joystick. He just has huge hands. But that he's got the paddle. Yeah, okay, yes, he's got the paddle there. The reason why he's holding it like a dick is because that is what the Atari controller looked like. It was a single joystick with one orange button on the side. That was the whole controller. But and so that's why he looked like that. Was because that's how you held the controller like you were like a 11-year-old learning how to jack it. Like that's literally...
you were supposed to you can move it back and forth, but he's like twisting it like it's a pepper shaker. I don't like
that's how you're supposed to hold it.
Kareem, you're losing, and he's just like, I don't care.
If you pause it with Pele's holding it up, you can see there's actually suction cups on the bottom of it. You can either suction it to the table to really get that grip, or you can hold it in your hand. See right there that you see little things, the knobs on the bottom,
hands or something. Yeah,
there. Yeah, there's suction cups. The suction cups never worked because so you really ended up using it as holding it like him. But that's the logistics of the Atari phallic controller. So I was about to say,
I'm glad you can break down the proper phallic grip that you have on an Atari controller.
You go lefty.
I think that's what the people were missing at home. Was a play-by-play.
People needed to know that. Okay, the gamer in me would be upset if I didn't educate the world on how to properly hold an Atari controller.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did.
Pele had so much sex and had so many kids that this was the only way they can get him in. Said, look, we'll give you this thing. Just pretend you're jerking off. I know you got to get it out of your system for 15 seconds.
How many kids does he have, Mike?
I think he gave birth to the entire country of Brazil. I don't know. He
probably gave them all Ataris.
I'm gonna look
child support. It's a child
How many
support.
Kids?
He's like, He's like, how about I just give them an Atari? And it's like,
I'm not knocking him. I mean, he's the greatest.
So he has 7 children, according to Google.
All right, that's nothing.
Oh, that's not it. I mean, for
maybe just have a lot of sex.
I mean, that's a lot, but like for the 80s, that's not insane. It's not
for
like
a Spanish South American guy. That's
Well, Antonio Cromartie has 21 kids, and
I think it's 13.
He doesn't even remember some of their names.
I met him. If I have to name drop, I will. I met him.
And do that information what you will.
He is cool, Cromartie. I will say
I'm sure he's cool, but like I remember, like he's trying to. I remember there's the Hard Knocks episode where he was trying to like count them on his hands, and he couldn't. Like the dude literally it's like fucking sock, and he was like confusing their names. Jesus, dude.
Yeah, when I worked on
wrap it up.
Well, why is there a cop there? What is that like a security guard? Oh, it's security because Atari is like their secret facility where they don't want people to break in and play 4-bit video games. Okay, got it.
I like these are like the scrap bench dudes, and the dude's like, how was it, Kareem? And I was waiting for Kareem to go, shut up, rookie. You know, you're not even the 6th man, you're the 8th man. Like, shit. You know, I don't know. So like they had look, if you look at it, it was almost like the stunt doubles. You know, they had like the basketball player, soccer player, and a NASCAR driver dressed like Bruce Lee. So, all right, bring the dorks in. Let's see how it works for these guys. So, I don't know. I had Atari when I was a kid. It was fun because everybody was buying Nintendo. So I just bought all their old Atari games. My dad would just sell them to Mike, and I had a ton of Atari games. And then we finally got Nintendo, and there was no Atari for me ever again. No, I haven't. You can download everything for free.
Good talk, Mike.
Good talk. The story of my video.
I feel like there was some trauma he was letting out on us there, Brian.
No, I miss having the actual Atari system because back then that was like amazing. You know, there was no. All you had was that, and then Nintendo, and then when Super Nintendo came out, it was like the world is changing. You know, and it really was, I guess, but that was even before the internet. So.
Okay.
I don't know. There's more to that story.
All right, you're cut off, Mike. All right, that was a good episode.
I was about to say.
I had fun tonight. I hope you guys did. Butt shots and all. All right, there we go.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Today was Don Mattingly's birthday. Shout out to Don Mattingly.
There we go. All right.
64 years old. Don Mattingly. Happy birthday.
Not as cool as 69.
That's true.